Hey guys, welcome back to another one of my videos. We're going to be doing it a little bit differently this time. As you know, I'm not in my usual intro, outro space. I'm just in my kitchen, and that's because our time is limited and we need to jump into this project real quick. If you haven't seen my previous video, I actually just finished editing and uploading it, and it is Willem Dafoe as Dr. Godwin Baxter from the movie Poor Things that just came out like last year. So make sure to check it out. It came out really cool. My entire Willem Dafoe chocolate sculpture series was just in general so fun to do, and I'm so glad it's done, and I think they all came out great, so make sure to check those videos out. Anyways, we are going to be working on a Valentine's Day project, which is why my time is limited, because today is Monday and Valentine's Day is Wednesday. So this is not going to come out on time. I'll probably be like still in editing mode on Thursday. So apologies for the lateness. Life just happened and I didn't even realize that Valentine's Day was so soon. But I did want to get this out, at least posted somewhere on the internet, because it's a project I've been wanting to do for a while, and I thought it was so fitting for Valentine's. So I will be doing Dracula, specifically his armor. The armor was designed by Eiko Ishioka. She is the costume designer of that movie, and it's not gonna get any better than that. I mean, all of the costumes just leave you breathless. If I knew how to cosplay, I would totally pick that movie several times. But yeah, we're going to be working on his armor, and if you know what it looks like, I mean, here's a picture of what it looks like, but it is supposed to mimic flesh or like muscles, like just how like stringy, not stringy, but like, you know, it looks kind of stringy when you open up the human body. But it mimics that, and it's blood, it's fleshy, it's beautiful, and when I see it, although Dracula is a horror movie, I just think of Valentine's. I think of love and romance, and Dracula is a romance novel. I thought it'd be a good idea to try to finish it in 2 days. So here we are. Let me show you what I have. So I already made a batch of red modeling chocolate. I used a little bit of it when I was making my Dr. Godwin Baxter. So I feel like it might not be enough. I'm gonna go ahead and make the rest of what I have. It's not a lot, but I feel like just making the rest of this is going to provide enough material for me to use. And of course the base is going to be Rice Krispie Treat and marshmallow again, because I'm short on time, and it's a very structured sculpt, so I want to make sure that my base is as strong as possible. Another thing that's different is that I won't be doing a sketch for this one. Although I really wish I could, it probably wouldn't be great. There's a lot of uniform texture going on, which is really challenging. I think that's the biggest challenge when it comes to making this. But as usual, let's not think too much about it or else we're going to freak out. All right, here we go. finishing the Rice Krispie treat base up, and now I'm working on processing that modeling chocolate I made. So they're hard chunks. Right now what I'm showing you is how soft it's gotten because I stuck it in the microwave for about 10 to 15 seconds, nothing too long or it becomes all oily and greasy and impossible to use. But heating it up a little just makes it softer and more pliable and easier to work with. You did see that I made a batch of red modeling chocolate that had bits of black candy meltables in it, so it did come out a shade darker, and I realized it wasn't the red that I wanted. This armor has a very vibrant red. Of course, it depends, like whether you're watching it, through the movie or whether you see pictures that were posted online of the costume by itself. And so I did want to stick with that really vibrant, typical red color because I feel like it makes the project and sculpt look a bit campier. The movie is pretty over the top in many scenes in just the way I like it. I'm not complaining at all. Like, this is the reason why I love this version of Dracula so much. So I kind of wanted to pay homage to that. But now comes the issue of what to do with this darker shade of red. So I realized I can just bulk up the piece, try to get the structure I need, besides the initial layer of modeling chocolate that goes down, and then be able to use that more vibrant red to cover up that darker shade. So the back of the skull is fleshed out. I also added that same darker muted color right under where his jawline ends because it would be darker in terms of light and shadow. I still have leftover scraps. I think I'm gonna go ahead and add these as those little ears, or I shouldn't say ears, the horns that he has, just so I could really figure out the proportions when I'm sculpting the rest of him. But yes, his horns, not his ears, not his bunny ears. So with the horns on, the structure, the simple structure of it is done, and now I can start my second main layer, which is pretty much fleshing out exactly what features I want shown. And the first thing I attack is kind of the back piece of his helmet. It kind of shows the functionality, the movement that the helmet can have if it actually does go into battle, because it's different segments, different plates that are then hooked together to make that back piece. I'm sure there's an armor technical term for this, and I'm just not well versed in it at all, but hopefully, that made sense. right, this is what I have so far. Literally end of day 1. Hoping to smooth them out some more tomorrow, and of course out all the little grooves that make it look like muscle. And so yeah, I want to get that all done tomorrow. Like, have the whole thing done. This took about maybe 4.5 hours. Like, it usually just doesn't seem like a lot, but it takes surprisingly longer than I think. I know my cat's back there and that probably grosses some people out, but this is a personal project. It's just for me. Probably won't nibble on it too much anyway, so sorry. I know that can be kind of gross. But yeah, day 1 done. Day 2, I'll see you back here tomorrow. Day 2, I'm sure you can tell it's bright outside. This is the next day. This is when we find out if we're able to finish this piece in a couple of hours. There's still a lot to do. I think the texture part is the biggest challenge. So let's see how far we get. I want to try to make sure I don't rush too much, because I know like the quality of the work, or you know, it usually doesn't meet my expectations if I rush too much. So that is the challenge for today. But all right, let's get moving. Okay, I just wanted to stop and pause right here to kind of explain the technique. It kind of took me a while to figure out what tools I wanted to use, and I am switching back and forth a lot because I have a lot of tools and a very specific look I'm trying to go for. So you can see how over here it's like more ribbed looking, and then on his kind of like cheek side it's just drawn in lines. So this is the first step I do. Hold on, my cats are fighting. Look at them. Hey! Cut it out. So I make those cut looks with any kind of sharp tool. I was using this one for a little bit. And then I'll go in and kind of wedge in between those lines with this chisel looking tool, because I want to raise the midsection between each cut line. I'm pretty sure that makes sense. And then I'll kind of smooth it out, draw the line again, smooth it out, draw the line again. Eventually it'll build up to this kind of ribbed look that I'm going for. One challenge that I have is that obviously this, like the cheekbone and then the front of him is raised more than his actual cheek. That's just how the armor looks. And so there's less modeling chocolate to work with, but I have like little bits of modeling chocolate on the side that I can just kind of quickly patch on to make sure that no Rice Krispie goes through and that the texture is still coming out. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that real quick. Making decent progress. I'm not too worried about not finishing in time now, and I'm just getting really excited the more I look at him. He's definitely not perfect. I don't have perfect lines. I don't think ever in my life will I ever have perfect lines with anything, but I still like the way it looks. It's not clean, but I'm down for this kind of more rugged, rough look. Thank God for that, right? All right, oops, carrying on. Okay, here is what I have so far. So you can see I was starting to work on the horn. This one is still blank. Everything else is pretty much etched out. I will be doing some cleanup and adding black into his eyes. I am actually gonna go to the vet right now, or like in a little bit. So I thought I'd stop here. My dog had a procedure recently, and we just need to check up on it. Not the greatest news, but it's okay. But that's my breather for today. Gonna go to the vet, gonna come back and hopefully finish it. I think at most I need another hour. So we are at the finish line, or approaching pretty quickly. Happy with it, let's say. In a time crunch, not too shabby. Okay, back from the vet. Just gotta finish this horn, put in his eyes, maybe do some final cleanup, and then we'll be done. Here is the final result. And that was my Dracula armor helmet chocolate sculpture. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. As I had mentioned, it took me about 2 days, or I crammed it into 2 days. So it was super rushed, but I was still pretty happy about it. It's not perfect, but you know, to do it in 2 days is a really big feat. I unfortunately was not able to get this video out by Valentine's Day. That would have just been impossible with my schedule. So this is coming out the Monday 2 weeks after Valentine's Day. So super late. It's already March by the time this is coming out. I'm really sorry about that, but I have a lot of stuff coming up, a lot of projects that are in line with movies that are about to hit theaters, like movies that I personally am excited to see. So obviously it's going to be a lot of like creatures, monsters, creepy, nerdy things as always. So if you like those types of things, and if you stuck to the end, you probably still do, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.